I'm Cami McGee. Welcome to this week's episode of CU Weekly. With this being the last episode of CU Weekly before spring break, we have a lot in store for you. First, we came here to Hart Chapel to see a lecture entitled Plastic Boy, Transgender Identity Unpacked by transgender speaker and activist Aiden James Kachesha. Let's take a look. Aiden James Kachesha is a transgender speaker, writer, and activist. Since 2011, he has traveled around the world to speak at universities, conferences, hospitals, and gatherings. Throughout his life, he heavily struggled with gender identity issues. He uses personal stories to introduce gender issues to audiences at his events. His speech, Plastic Boy, Transgender Identity Unpacked, uses terminology and experiences from his female-to-man transition to shed light onto the process of becoming a part of the transgender community.
The reason why I started speaking was because I really wanted to share my story. It was sort of a way of coming to terms with it myself. I actually started speaking when I was a graduate student at Villanova University. Villanova has this Martin Luther King Jr. service project where they ask for presentations that have some connection to his work. And I did a presentation on civil rights for LGBT Americans, and this was a number of years ago before we enjoyed some of the civil rights that have come our way these days, although there's still a long way to go. So I started doing that, and then when I started to transition myself, I had a professor from Villanova who asked me if I would come and speak to her class because she was teaching a gender studies class, and they had read a piece about transfeminism that suggested that you couldn't engage with transfeminism without also engaging with transgender people. So I came in and did a version of the talk that you guys heard today. That was sort of the pilot, I guess you would say, and I got such a great reaction that my old professor said to me, hey, you should keep doing this because this is something that people really need to hear. And so it grew out of that. I first started doing it just by word of mouth, people who knew me or who had been to one of my presentations, and now I do it all over the country.
When Allies President Cade Ellinger discovered Aiden's work, Cade believed that he would be a great speaker to host at the university. He felt that his speeches would help bring awareness to those who identify both within and outside the gender binary.
I heard about Aiden actually through an article that he wrote in May of 2015, and it was about passing as a trans man. Someone actually posted it on the Allies Facebook page, so I checked out the article and saw that he had a website and that he actually did presentations. So from there I went onto his website, contacted him, and here another member of Allies also contacted him as a possibility to speak on campus. So from there we were just in contact back and forth about possible show dates and getting contracts and all of that fun stuff. So it's a very interesting article. So yeah, that's how I found him.
Cool. With this belief in mind, Allies hosted Aiden at 4 p.m. on February 23rd in Hart Chapel. By bringing in Aiden, they hope that it will encourage students to become more educated on the LGBTQ community so that everyone can treat each other with the respect they deserve.
I think that one of the things that impedes trans progress in this country is that a lot of people who want to be allies, who are really interested and really committed to LGBT people in general, they don't know a lot about trans people, and they're afraid to ask because they don't want to be rude and they don't want to disturb anyone. So I see it as a real privilege to be a person who can stand up and say, hey, ask me anything. I want to hear your personal questions. I want to hear your weird questions. I want to hear that thing you always wondered and you were too afraid to ask. So I really love being able to connect with people in that way, and to see that something that I've said has been able to help someone else.
Allies is a gay-straight alliance student organization that strives to educate, advocate, and promote equality, as well as provide a safe, supportive environment for all students.
I heard about Aiden actually through an article that he wrote in May of 2015, and it was about passing as a trans man. Someone actually posted it on the Allies Facebook page, so I checked out the article and saw that he had a website and that he actually did presentations. So from there I went on to his website, contacted him, and here another member of Allies also contacted him as a possibility to speak on campus. So from there we were just in contact back and forth about possible show dates and getting contracts and all of that fun stuff. So it's a very interesting article. So yeah, that's how I found him. The main thing that interested me was just that he talked about trans terminology. I mean, being a member of the LGBT community and being involved with Allies and knowing a lot about this stuff, I know that a lot of other people do not know things that, you know, there's mix-up with words that are being said and definitions. So I think having a proper knowledge is definitely very important because it helps people learn like the right words, the right things to say, and it also helps people understand the community instead of being you know, more afraid or not accepting of it just because they don't know about it. So I think spreading knowledge is one of the best things you can do.
My advice is to not hesitate, is to be yourself, is to embrace yourself, and the people who love you, when you embrace yourself, they will see how much better you feel and how much better your life has become because of being the person who you are. That's my advice.
Next, if you're looking for some academic or mental help, Clarion University has brought that to you. Kaitlyn Mulligan and Mike Caesar went over to Becht Hall to meet with the new success coaches, and so can you. Let's take it over to them.
Welcome back to CU Weekly. I'm Caitlin Mulligan, and this week we took a look at one of the newest programs here at Clarion University, the Student Success Center located in Becht Hall. We sat down with 3 of the student success coaches to get a glimpse of what the program is really about. Check it out. The Student Success Center in Becht Hall is a new service at Clarion. The goal is to offer a place where students can go to find support and help with study skills, time management, and connecting to campus. The program began in January. The coaches aid students with everything from academic difficulties to getting involved on campus. They assist the Writing Center, Disability Support Services, Minority Student Services, and the SOAR program.
The role of a student success coach is really to provide the services for all of our students here at Clarion, whether you're an incoming freshman or a graduating senior, to be successful. That's really what we're all about. So whether that's providing you resources on time management or study skills, or sending you to the appropriate offices like financial aid or things like that, that's really what we do here.
The role of a success coach is to provide support to students through providing direct interventions or advice on how to just be more successful students. So that might be on topics related directly to the academic side of being a student, or also, we understand that students are more than just what they do or what they are in the classroom. So we try to help them make connections on campus, whether it's through their residence halls, through clubs, and just kind of getting them to have a community and a sense of family here at Clarion University.
We want to promote success. We really want to help students find the resources and network with faculty, staff, their peers. That's what it's all about, really. I mean, you're only in the classroom so many hours during the week. It's the things outside of the classroom that really make you effective. So we're really going to try to, teach these students. That's what we're looking for, and help them do that.
Myself and my colleagues were hired to provide support to students who maybe just need a little bit more outside of the classroom. We work a lot with students who just kind of need that person. Maybe they don't know where to go on campus to find services, or maybe they just want somebody to talk with about specific assignments or what kind of learner I am. We can devote our entire day to just providing support to students so that we can help retain them and help them find success and hopefully get to that graduation stage and get that diploma.
We meet students as frequently as once or twice a week, as little as 5 minutes every other week, or emails, phone calls. So it's really based on what the students' needs are.
everybody says there's no typical day, but you know, if I had to just kind of generalize, mornings are really devoted to email, reaching out to students, following up with students from the previous day. And so with that, you know, we do have a few hours in the morning that are a little quieter because, you know, most students are either still sleeping or in class. So then basically anywhere from like 11 o'clock through the afternoon are devoted to student meetings.
The student success coaches want to create an independence and self-confidence within students. They want students to succeed in life.
So I graduated from Clarion in May of 2014. And it was an amazing experience for me. I was a SOAR mentor, I was an orientation leader, I worked a lot of different offices, made those connections with faculty, staff, had a great friend group, and my goal was, you know, it's silly, but I wanted to come back here. I wanted to give back to the university, you know, that gave me so much, and that was my goal from day one. So it's really great to be back here, and this is the position I was looking for all along.
I became a success coach because I wanted to work more directly with students. I was a classroom teacher, and so obviously I was working with students at the secondary level. However, I felt like I couldn't give my students that one-on-one time that I really, really wanted to be able to do, because when you have 30 or so in the room, you got to balance a lot of needs.
It's nice because as a coach, it's more of an encouraging environment as opposed to being in a counseling role where you're trying to solve problems all day. We solve problems here, but it's more of a kind of like a pep rally type thing as opposed to being kind of inundated with some negative stuff. So it's just a different vibe, but I think I chose to be a coach just to get a little bit of a varied experience in my career.
I think even in the short time, I've noticed like when I've been able to gain the trust of a student. So whenever, you know, obviously some of them we're meeting every other week or every week, but it's whenever they maybe send me another email and say, hey, I forgot to mention this, and they reach out to me. And that's when I know that they feel that I'm, you know, that they can trust me, that I'm somebody they can reach out to find help. And so that's when I know that I've, you know, made a difference, is when I feel that, you know, they're reaching out to me because they trust me, and that's ultimately what I want with my students.
I'll make this comparison is when people like sports, you know, you only play a football game on Sunday, 60 minutes, but you practice, you know, training camp all summer, all spring. You got to put in the time outside of it, and that's kind of what I say about class. You're not there very often. The students who separate themselves from, you know, the good students and the okay students and the bad students, how much time and effort they put outside the classroom.
We just really hope that they're able to find the balance that they need to be successful students. I come from a very holistic approach where it's not just about studying and schoolwork, but it's really about the study, schoolwork, and the personal social balance. So I really focus on kind of finding that sweet spot where everything kind of comes together and we have a happy student that, you know, can function in an academic setting but can also function in a social area.
The coaches hope the center continues to grow and expands to reach everyone at Clarion.
Ideally, I'd like to service all of our students and just really give them that one-on-one attention that might be lacking sometimes in classes, again, because you're in a room with 30 or more. So just being here as a support for all of our students and servicing more students every semester.
What I would really like to see is that we keep students for a longer period of time. One of the reasons that this whole program was established was to maintain retention rates. Now, I would really like to see the students that I start with this semester follow through to graduation.
We talk about preparation and planning a lot when we meet with these students. Like, what is your plan for success? Because oftentimes, you know, students will come in, they don't really have a plan, they're just in college now. Okay, but we got to figure out, how are you going to be successful? So we're really going to work on programs surrounding that and how we're going to reach out to students and have them come in and, you know, interact with us.
We're here, you know, we're here to help them find that success. So it looks different for every student we meet. So we try to meet their needs and help them reach success.
If you're interested in working with one of the Student Success Coaches, come to 310 in Becht Hall or search Student Success Center on Clarion's website. After this commercial break, we took a look at Delta Phi Epsilon's Eating Disorder Awareness Week. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, Micaela King here this week for CU Weekly. This week is ANAD Week, National Association of Anorexia, Nervosa, and Associated Disorders. Delta Phi Epsilon has been working hard this week to raise awareness for ANAD. Let's go check it out. ANAD, or National Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders, is a nonprofit organization founded in 1976 that is dedicated to the prevention of eating disorders.
Well, I've never had like a positive body image of myself, and like having all my sisters and having this organization, it makes me feel a lot better, and I have a better self-image after doing this kind of stuff.
ANAD advocates for development of healthy attitudes, bodies, and behaviors while promoting eating disorder awareness, prevention, and recovery through supporting, education, and connecting individuals, families, and professionals.
For me, ANAD Week is really just about coming together and supporting people. I myself went through an eating disorder, so it's really just important to support people and be there for people in their time of need.
Delta Phi Epsilon actually partners with the ANAD Foundation, so they're one of our main philanthropies that as a national sorority we actually do a lot of information with them. On Clarion campus we're going to be tabling throughout the week to raise awareness. We're also going to be going into the rec and having a Zumbathon on Thursday from 6 to 8. And then throughout the rest of the semester we'll be going into local high schools and middle schools to talk about what ANAD is, health and eating disorders, and how to be healthier.
For more information to get help and to get involved or donate, go to ANAD website at www.anad.org.
Alright guys, that's all we have for CU Weekly this week. Check back after spring break for more events around Clarion. I'm going to go run and get my Zumba on. See ya!